now. It's all you. Have fun.
Thank you. Hello, we are the Great Lakes Pathfinders Paranormal team. Sorry, it's a new name. My name is Sandra. Jennifer.
I'm Ken.
I'm Candy. And this is our host, Deb. We are at Eden Springs Park at House of David in Benton Harbor, Michigan.
Yep. Welcome, everybody, to Eden Springs Park. We're sitting in the engine house right now on some antique coaches that were built over 100 years ago. The park was started operating in 1908 as an amusement park. It ran till the mid-1970s and then sat abandoned until 2009. Then we started restorations, and they are continuing. The reason we have paranormal teams here is because when we first started restorations, we were having so many experiences, we wanted to make sure we weren't just crazy. So we invited a couple teams in, and we have a lot of activity here, so maybe we'll get some tonight. This building that we're in right now is the oldest building believed to be on the property. It dates to pre-Civil War time. It used to be part of Eastman Springs Park, which was started right after the Civil War by Colonel Eastman, who bottled water and sent it to Chicago and Milwaukee. And also it was like a health retreat type of thing. The House of David's a local religious colony that was formed in 1903. They bought it shortly after that. By 1908, they were operating the park here, and had many, many years of people coming here and enjoying the place. So that is our most recent history. Also, the Native Americans considered this place, this valley that we have down below us, to be a holy place, a place of healing. The springs all have different mineral contents, and they are all supposed to heal different things. We went down today and toured part of the springs and drank the water. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's definitely a feel here from the Native American times as well. So it's a mixture of different eras, different times. From one investigation to the other, we never know what we're going to get, whether it'll be something of a Native American or even elemental nature up until, fairly recent. So in here, we have seen dark figures walking between the train cars. We hear voices in this building, footsteps upstairs in the upper part, doors opening and closing by themselves, things moving. Throughout the park, people have seen figures moving around, hear noises, voices when there aren't other people around, calling your name and things like that. So it's a whole variety. You never know what you're going to get or when. So hopefully tonight they'll want to be here and make themselves known for us. So we're going to start in this building, and then I think we're going to maybe walk down through the park a little bit. We'll see how we're doing on time. So you can see some of the other places where we also have activity. So, ready?
Thank you.
All right.
We're going to go lights out now, and we're going to start investigating and show you around a little bit. Ready? Yeah, go ahead. I'll show you some of the trains as we're going by. Hi, Ken.
Hi.
So set up in the room right here, we have so far a laser grid pointing at most of the room. You'll be able to see it, I think, when we go lights out, hopefully, to see if we can get any motion, anything going by and blocking the lights. We also have, go ahead. Can you see? Let's see. Yep. We also have a couple of voice recorders going and a couple static cameras and I think we have a REM pod in here, a millimeter. Okay. So we're going to set this up, and we're going to do EVP to start with.
So we do have one recorder that's running on the static recorder. Scan. DR40X. I have two mics that are 4-channel capable recorder and run two recordings at simultaneous time. Pathfinders DR5X that I'm going to run as a EVP recorder. We also have other in the room as well that have their recorders. Now the reason for the name and the change is because we actually have two different teams. However, there's many a times we team up, depending on the location, together as one family. We are Great Lakes Spirit Seekers as well as Pathfinders Paranormal Society, hence the name Great Lakes Pathfinders Para Team. And we're one big family. We all get along. We enjoy our company together. We will do both residential as well as more popular sites. I look at it as our chance to hone our skills, to work on possible new techniques, new equipment, to get an idea of what we're doing with the new equipment, with possible new techniques, and take things from there. So, we're going to start an EVP session now. Is that the plan?
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to press record on my recorder. I'm ready to go.
Wait, is there anybody here with us today?
Would you like to come speak to us? If you would, come speak to one of these boxes that have lights on them. We will be able to hear you. I can hear you right now. Speak to me with this little box right here in my hand. I'll be able to have a conversation with you right here, right now.
Is there anybody that would like to communicate?
Can you tell us what your name is?
What do we look like to you?
Always remember to note things that are going on around you with the natural noise. Can you tell us what your job is here? Do you work here, or are you just a visitor? Somebody?
That sounds like
It's in the rafters.
Can you make that noise again, please?
Can you tap on something like this before?
If I tap on something, can you tap back? You knock like this? We are getting some background noise from surrounding area. How do you perceive time?
Start with myself, actually. I was moving around and something caught right here and projecting laser shot to this ceiling. It's like, what's that movement? Oh,
So I'll ask a question. if you don't mind. So here we have engine number 7, which was the original engine that ran here at the park. Would you happen to have ever driven that engine? If you did, would you do that?
are any of these yeah, people moving around because we've got some background noise.
Anybody who wishes to communicate with us, can you tell us, are you attached to the property? An item within the building? Or perhaps the land itself?
The laser.
The laser grid's given some interference with the recorder. Okay, we're gonna turn the laser grid off in hopes of having better recording. We'll give it a shot. Laser grid off. Okay, laser grid back on.
That's not the time.
No, it's a lot. It's like, oh, it's like this. Very good, thanks. Actually,
Okay, we'll try that again then. Is there anybody here with us? What is your name? It's Candy getting the door shut.
Yeah, one of the experiences I have. I'm a volunteer here, and in the evening, we lock all these doors before we leave. And there was just my brother and I were here, and I said I would go lock the doors. So I locked all these back doors, and as I'm walking up, the ground is uneven, and you never know. So I was walking with my head down, and I got right about to where you're standing now, and I saw feet, and they were leather shoes and pants, and I'm thinking that's not my brother because he's got running shoes on and jeans. So it's like, who's back here with me, And I started to look up to see who it was, and I got about just over knee height, and it disappeared. So, yeah, I don't know who was back here. We've also seen an apparition from the outside come towards these back doors and walk through the closed door. That was something that my brother saw, full body, just walked right through the door as if the door were open. So I don't know if that might have been the same thing, or same person. So if it was, are you here with us tonight is what we want to know, right?
Mm-hmm. We would love to communicate with you. We mean you no harm. We have the ability to hear you if you speak to one of these boxes we have with us. We could play it back and hear your voice. We also have some different equipment around the room that you could touch, and they will light up and make some noise.
Are you willing to talk? Does it make you uncomfortable? Notice.
We would just like to learn about you.
Tell your story.
Area. Are any of the trains here your favorite?
Is there a train that sometimes gets an EMF hit? Is that what I remember doing?
That was number 7. Yeah. That was the REM pod. Sitting on it.
Okay.
Yeah. We've also had a bird that came out of another train back here. It's called Hercules. It was built in the 70s. The former owner passed away, and the current owner of this park purchased it from the estate. And most of the orbs are dust. This is an old building, with access to the outside, dust or bugs all the time,
Mm-hmm.
But this particular orb that they caught on video emitted its own light, created a shadow, and it came out of where the engineer would have sat right behind the firebox of the train and went up towards their camera and then disappeared.
Wow.
So that one was something. Yeah. It would have been Doc Hoffman who owned the train. He's the one that liked to talk politics. So, yeah, he might have been there for that night.
Doc, are you here with us right now? Doc, if you're here right now, can you come and tell us about your story? Do you have a favorite politician? Jennifer? Who? Oh, okay, that was you I saw. I saw a shadow or something. But I also saw you move, so I just wanted to make sure what's going on.
Also, anybody watching us live, feel free to comment and let us know if you're seeing anything or you're catching any movement, anything like that.
But more eyes on site, more back. Yeah, we could look into these areas, try and figure out
Mhm.
what is going on.
Do you have any questions about the area or what's going on in the investigation? We'd love to answer them. Well, we'll take the K2 and see if that train gets a hit. This one right here?
Number 7. This one. A little bit of light on it.
A little light on the subject, never heard.
Yeah. This is number 7. This was originally it was one of 22 Cagney built coal-powered steam engines that ran at the St. Louis World's Fair in 1904. After 1904, the various engines were sold all over the country to different places. The people who bought number 7 built it up and gave it a bigger boiler, as you can see. And the House of David purchased it in 1908. And this was the train they opened the park with. It still runs today. It's been tested. We're looking forward to getting it certified by the boiler inspector here shortly. And it's great to run. They ended up having 8 of these, just like this, in this room. So if any of the former engineers are here, we'd love it if you'd let us know.
Come on over and ring the bell.
The orange coaches behind it are original to the park as well. They've been running here for over 100 years.
Tigger seems to be enjoying the
Yeah.
drive.
Tigger likes the back seat.
Looks like he's got it cordoned off to
Yep.
be his very own seat all the time.
He's the conductor.
Tigger.
Yep.
Well, it kind of matches. It's orange and he's orange.
When I first approached, I was getting all the K2 readings
Yeah,
over
you were.
here, but I'm not sure. Why don't we try putting the camera closer and see if it closes again?
No,
No, it wasn't the camera. So
it had to be. Oh, now it is. Yeah, you had it back about here though.
mhm. And it's
Let's go back a little further and keep.
that's weird.
There's nothing electronic attached to that train. Totally runs on steam. You can lift that. That's the sand dome. That's used to. It has sand in it, literally. So if the tracks are wet, they can pull a lever and it'll put sand down onto the tracks to give traction for the engine.
Ring the bell. Trust me. So it's going off. Now I've heard that certain steels can hold a magnetic field just because of its ferrous.
These two appear to be the same type of steel. They're similar.
Well, those might be brass.
Yeah, these are probably the same type of metal. They're not doing it all the time.
No, but the body of that locomotive is probably like a cast or some kind of ferrous metal.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Should I ring the bell?
Try putting it on top of the,
Looks up.
yeah. Nothing. So that's a good indication of that is a clean area. Can you come make that little box with the green light on it? Light up more lights.
Approach it.
There's yellow and red on there. Can you make one of those come on?
Cracking its mic.
I just heard a voice, male voice. Who is here with us right now? Can you come speak with me?
Lights.
Come over here closer and speak with me, please. I could hear you on my recorder. I know you were in here. I could hear you. Can you come talk to us, please? What is your name?
Are you associated with this train?
Did somebody just shuffle their foot?
It might have been me. I thought it was something. I heard tapping in that corner of the street behind me.
I swear I heard a male voice, though. Like a little distance across the room someplace. But it was a deep voice.
Can you come closer? You don't need to be afraid of us becoming your friend. We just want to learn your story.
Excuse me. We don't mean any disrespect by being here. We have a lot of respect for history. And that's why we come to places like this, to hear people's stories, to hear about the facility, the history of it.
The people that were involved with stories.
Regular, everyday people. So if you would like to tell us who you are, we'd love to hear your name.
Would you like me to ring the bell on this train? That makes a cool sound. Yeah, I'm gonna try. Can you ring the bell?
Even if you just make it move, you'll know you're trying. We know it probably takes a lot of energy.
Should we take a walk and check out some more
Yeah.
of the place?
Ending AVP session in the engine house.
I'm gonna move on and check out some more of the facility. Leave it quick with me.
So we're going to make our way out of the engine house. We're going to take you back to some of the other areas of the Eden Springs House of David area. Eden Springs still does run a campground here, as well as during the summer they run the trains. And here's two ladies. And they're monitoring video feed. So we have set up through the building here. The one in the upper right corner is the upstairs. That's a lot of dust. Wow.
It's an old building.
Yeah.
Like I said, most of it's dust.
And yes, dust. All right, we're gonna make our way out. It's actually a beautiful night here, even though it looks like it's cloudy.
Barely see the moon through the clouds.
So you can see some of the buildings that were built along this road here.
These were guest cottages that were built prior to 1920. We've got pictures in 1920 of them, so we know they were built before then, but we don't know the actual date. And they are real log cabins. We rent this one out. The other one is the caretaker's cottage. And the next one and the little light one down at the end are still being restored. The little light one's kind of an interesting building if you want to go inside there. It was originally a band shell. Behind it was the baseball diamond, the historic House of David baseball diamond. The front of this little white cottage that you see right here was open, and they would set a little band in there and play music during the baseball games. So we can open it up, take a brief look inside if you want to on our way down.
Sure.
It's in the process of being restored. It's in pretty rough shape. We put a new roof and some stucco on it, but we haven't done much with the inside. We have state-of-the-art security. As we go in, though, you can see that it was a band shell with the curved walls. Then it was changed into a guest cottage with a little bathroom and yeah, it needs a little makeover. But yeah, it's the real thing. But like I said, this whole wall was open. And they would sit in here and play music and baseball. Yeah.
So this acts like an amphitheater.
Yep. What that's your
I wanted the people to see the
yeah,
architecture of the curb.
curved walls.
It's really
It's wood.
interesting.
Yeah, it's made of wood.
Each little piece that had to be cut out and then fitted in,
Yeah.
and your areas for it to nail to had to be real close together.
Yeah.
So that took quite a bit of work to do that.
Yeah, are you still you turn off the recording?
Yes, I did. So we're gonna make our way back out. We're going back out into the main grounds.
The way here you can see the train tracks.
Right out here.
So the trains we were just
And if
looking at.
we go to the left here, that is the doors of where they come out with the trains. And they come out onto the tracks right here. You can see they have a pile of track right here that they're rebuilding part of the system that comes around the park here. And this continues through into the building here. You gotta watch our step across this. Now we're gonna make our way down to the ice house. Now before they had refrigerators, they had to have some place to keep the ice, keep it cold, so that they could keep other items cold, probably even in beverages, water, things of that nature. Those were originally one of the gates coming in for people visiting the park, and that was a parking lot beyond those gates. You can see the building here is, for the most part, collapsed.
It's the restaurant and hotel.
We're making our way down below this bridge. There have been reports of people seeing shadow figures moving back and forth across this bridge. They believe that this was one of the main thoroughfares for people coming into the park. So it could be residual. There's no proof either way as to whether or not it was actual, intelligent haunting. You can see some of the field out here. That's where some of the other areas of the park were, including a bar area. You can see the sitting area down there. And I apologize for the rude people with their muscle cars burning thousands of dollars off of their vehicle. So this is the ice house. You got this side, and you got this side. Now, you'll notice that curved archway in there, and there's bars out here. Well, we were told that these bars were added on later. This was a kind of a makeshift jail. After Prohibition, people were housed here who got a little rowdy and a little drunk. So we're coming in here. Are you seeing something? Oh. Where did everybody else go? Okay. Well, everybody else is. Okay, so apparently, we apologize for that. We just got word that we were getting interference because the ice house, as you can see, is pretty thick walled. There's a lot around it, dirt on the roof and everything as well. So we may have lost our connection because of that.
There's a couple of comments. Looks like. Alright.
Ready?
We're freezing up. Much better. Technical difficulties. Yes. Yeah. The battery just died on the recorder.
No, I got it.
Oh, I've got another recorder here. Yeah.
I'll just erase some of the stuff on it. But I'll do that. Um,
Anybody out here with us? We'll go down into the field. There is a spring and a very large rock. This is a 100-plus-year-old road we're walking on. It does have a few holes and washes out on occasion. This would have been one of the major thoroughfares of people going up from the ravine up to the restaurant, possibly. Down here with the beer garden and dancing and a big stage. Big rock, kind of a landmark. We have detected electrical currents off this rock, and there's absolutely no power in this area at all. No electricity at all. Let's turn on the K2 and see. Look at that. It's also a prohibition, contractually, that we have to move any of these big rocks. There's several in the park. We don't know why. So this is part of the contract when they took over the property? Yeah. Wow. Yeah, there's 3 of them in this general area, 2 further down in this new area. So we don't know why the placement. Kind of a mystery. Do you know how many times that part of the contract was handed down? How many people owned it before? No, it just went from House of David directly. Yes. Okay. So from House of David directly. Yep. Right now, we're a quarter down with it. Is there anybody out here that would like to speak with us? who's out here. Can you come closer? Oh, that's Ken. Yeah, Ken's listening to recording. What? Can you come over here by this rock, please? Can you talk into that orange light or touch the blue or green light, please? We would love to talk to you and learn your story. Come closer, please. Are you associated with the House of David? Are you shy? Can you tell us your name? Where are you at? Do you not want to talk to us? Towards the fountain. Well, let's go that way. That's good. Yeah. Is there anybody over here? Yes. Anyone over here at the fountain? Maybe someone who helped build it? We found 3 of your names in the concrete. If you're one of those people, can you say your name? You helped build the fountain? Or do you just like to visit the fountain?
Did you tend the gardens there?
If you did, can you tell us your name?
The meaning of this respect. You want to know who you are and what your job is here and your story. So if you don't mind, can you share with us your name? Somebody whispering?
Yes.
Okay.
So before there was a fountain here, there was stadium-style seating and a stage in front. Do you remember those days when it was stadium seating? Sirens again.
Yeah.
Active night town.
Looks like we've only got about a minute left. So thank everybody for watching. Thank you. It means a lot to us. Hopefully, when we go back and listen to some evidence and watch some stuff, we'll be able to have found something.
All right. Adore you. Bye.
Thank you.
You guys did a wonderful job. Thank you so much for participating in the world's
Thank you
largest
so
ghost
much.
hunt.
Thank you.
I hope when we look back we find some really good stuff. I know you guys were doing an amazing job. So
Thank you.
thank you guys.
Bye. Bye.
Good night.